It is Tuesday night. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Seth Bidoff. That's Jacob Terrell. We are United Front. Man, it feels good to be talking after a positive result, and we got a lot of things to jump into this week. We're glad that each and every one of you are here. Bry Guy already over in the chat. Appreciate you being here. It's I gotta say, Jacob, you work out on public lands. What is this weather?
The weather?
Yeah, what is this weather?
The weather is when the atmosphere and all the other. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, man, I don't know, dude. It's really been weird for the last couple of years in different ways, and so I'm not sure exactly what to think of what's going on right now. It's hot. I know that.
It's not hot here.
No,
it was like 20 degrees cooler today than it was on Saturday.
Well, so today, today was cooler, but it's been warm. It's been unseasonably warm, super dry. We're finally, we had to transition to a stage 2 fire restriction, which is like nothing, propane only. And so that's the first time I've had to do it since I started working here. When I started working here, it was already in effect, but it's a weird one.
Yeah, that's why it's supposed to rain tonight too. Man,
Saturday was nice.
Saturday was beautiful. It really was. Quickly, Josh, Rosemary, Mike, Justin, Bolte, Josh Carrillo over in chat. Man, you guys just like all popped up real quick. There's Eric. Eric, you're right on time, Eric. Perfect. Glad to have you here. Brad Guy rushing the game after the kids' baseball game tomorrow. Hey, that's all we can ask, right? We need as many supporters out there as we can possibly get. So, but yeah, Jacob, Saturday out of the lab, weather was beautiful for the first home match of the season. Got there, nice, sunny, nice breeze. You know, it had all the makings of just a gorgeous day of football. And I took a picture of the pitch, and the pitch looked phenomenal. Shout out to Clint and the grounds crew at Isotopes Park, like phenomenal looking pitch. And I was talking to Ron Patel during the match. He goes, "Yeah, that's pretty damn good looking pitch." And I said, "Yes, sir, it is." I wanted to probably the best we've seen it on opening day ever.
Opening day for sure, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, phenomenal yeather. Match was a whole lot of fun. There's some changes obviously going on. We got the news yesterday about Sergio. Which came out of left field for all of us, but and we got 2 matches this week, so a whole lot to get into. Josh, we miss you, buddy. We hope you're doing well. Rivas equals Drake, Jacob equals Kendrick. Pretty.
Yeah, Josh was one of the ones that messaged me about that signing, and we'll get into that here in a minute. I also got sunburned, everybody. My face was dark after Saturday, so, but it's okay. It was worth it.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Yeah, Saturday was phenomenal. Hopefully you made it out to the lab like Jacob and I did. Christina was there as well for the home opener. Over 9,000 bills, 9,500 people there in attendance on Saturday. 9491 was the number, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was a gorgeous day out there at Isotopes Park. There's Christina. There she is. Christina, welcome on in. We were just discussing just how beautiful of a day it was out at Isotopes Park on Saturday, and just how good it felt to be at home and see the guys back out on the pitch.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got sunburned. But the grass was beautiful, lush, green, and once the sun was behind the stadium, it was like perfect temperature. Yeah, great environment.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. There are definitely reports, and Mike brings it up here. There were attendance issues around the league over the weekend, and I saw a number of folks asking about the protests, and I do believe we are one of the few, if only, broadcast to show the fans' protests. So I was talking to someone on Saturday. I will not name names. I was talking to someone and said, yeah, no. And watching the broadcast, we showed those signs. We showed the player, the supporter signs that were in support of the players' protest. If you did not see it on Saturday, if you were not there at the beginning of both the first and second half, players from both teams, similar to what we saw a couple of years ago, which was different from what we saw first couple of weeks of the season, the players gathered around center circle. The players were all lined up there. The broadcast, obviously cut away for most of it, but they did show the fans with their signs, and there were a few smatterings. I do believe that there probably could have been more chance for pay the players. Now, I want to be perfectly clear. We've talked to Pete, we've talked to Ron, we've talked to other players that said United does a very good job of compensating the players. I actually talked to someone Saturday who said when a player comes to New Mexico, it's the front office that's actually helping move the players into their new homes. Like, it's not the front office is there helping folks. And I know it's not like a paid benefit or anything, but it's like, this is one of the things that the club does. But the club has always provided, above and beyond. The players get the same health insurance that the front office workers do. There's no difference between the players and the front office. It's exactly the same. And yes, Josh, the phenomenal weather was great in the air-conditioned press box. Probably a little too chilly for my taste, but it was great on Saturday. Now you messed the layout up. There, that's better. But yeah, no, it was great. And I will say there was quite loud music. I did ask the question. I said, is there a league mandate that the broadcasts cut away, that stadiums play the music? And the individual I spoke to could neither confirm nor deny that, because it was, above their pay grade. So, but I have a feeling that there's been a league mandate handed down that they do not want the protests shown or heard on the broadcasts. So, shout out to the fans that were there that made themselves loud. Obviously, their players are still playing without a CBA in place, operating under the status quo from last year. Still ongoing. We don't know what the status will be in the next week, next month. We don't know what's going on. Is this looking more dire, or is this just looking like we're going to stay status quo for the rest of the season?
Well, I don't know, Seth, if you saw the Beyond the 90 report about some changes up at near the top of the USL pyramid, whatever you want to call it. I listened to the video this morning, but I've had a rather long day, so I'm not going to have particulars like the guy's name. I think his name is Jake, or it's Jake's son. I don't know. One of the higher ups in the USL was let go, chose to pursue something else, is no longer with the USL. And the video that Harry tagged us in, that I will link over in the chat here shortly, kind of was what the hell is the word I'm looking for, guys? It's been a long day, so bear with me. It could be like this for a while. He was kind of alluding is the word I was looking for. Alluding. Say it with me now. Alluding. It was alluding to maybe now that'll grease some wheels with the CBA and some other things. So we'll have to see there. Other than that news, it does seem to just like we're just going to play this season with protests and no CBA, just running off the old one. Is kind of what it feels like. Hopefully, both sides kind of come together and realize that what's best is that they figure this out. But until then, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm happy that we're still having soccer. We still get to watch United play, and it was nice to see the amount of support in the stands for the players. I think in the matches that I've watched, they've panned the fans and showed them. I don't think there were sections of I don't think there was a section of fans big enough at the game Saturday to show a decent swath without having somebody with a sign. So I think says a lot about the fans here. We are 3 or 4 weeks in, so it's kind of easier than the week 1 matches, but there are at least fans that are knowledgeable and up to date on what's going on and what the protest's about and want to support the players. So I think goes to show that we have the best fans in the league for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, first half, second half started off with them circling up, and yeah, the broadcast did showed them circling up a little bit, and then showed some pay the players and support the players and stuff like that. The signage there in the stands. I didn't hear any chants down below, but I know that there were some out there. Mm-hmm. I didn't hear many of them where I was for those moments, but I think it's a good sign that there are fans starting to show up like that, if for no other reason than to just get this done.
Yeah, from my vantage point in the press box, it sounded like it's coming from the third base side. But obviously, it was sort of drowned out by music and by other chants and cheering in other parts of the stadium. So I wish, and I think there should have been more. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see how the clubs are handling it. Again, like I said, I do believe that there is a mandate from the league that they're not supposed to do that. But so it'll be interesting to see if anything comes down from that. Yeah, there were some other things that happened, during the broadcast, and afterwards. Oose's criticisms of the referees is likely to draw some ears of the league. Now what happens because that, my guess is if they do say anything, it'll be a fine for Oose. But I will say, by the way, in case you noticed, the center on Saturday is a local guy. He trains up in Rio Rancho. So, yeah, let's just say he had an interesting day.
I'm gonna back him up just a little bit, because I thought the first half Colorado channeled their inner Phoenix and were going down when you looked at them wrong. And 90% of the time he was like, nope, get up. Nope, get up. And I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
Upon further review, I do think both of the penalties are the right call. And so for the most part, I don't think he did that bad, honestly. We're not going to get like if we go through a match where nothing happens with the referee, it's kind of a minor miracle at this level. And so I think he was fine. Not great, not terrible. He was fine.
Like I said, he had an interesting day. I'll put it that way. He had an interesting day. Definitely some things that, in my opinion, were missed.
That's every week though. Like there's never a week in the USL where we get a guy that is perfect, right? Like, when was the last time we've had a perfect referee? Like Justin said, he wasn't the best that we've had, but we've seen far worse.
Especially at home. I feel like, I don't know what it is about the lab, but refs seem to feel bad for the opponents or something.
Well, I don't think it helps when one bad call and we're saying, ref, you suck, as a stadium. Like, they're professionals, but they're also humans, and that's not gonna make them want to, like, they're not gonna be like, oh no, they're saying I suck, oh, I'm gonna make all the calls for the home team. That's not how that works. usually has the opposite effect. So
no, I just there were some, like I said, there were some interesting calls.
Seth,
interesting
you can't get fined. Just say it. Just criticize him for what you want to criticize him for.
No, I mean there were some things he definitely missed some things. But no, and I feel like the AR on the near side might have missed an offside call as well.
In our favor?
No.
There was one in our favor that
yeah, Dayon. Yeah. I'm fairly certain Dayon was off. But anyway, as we get into Saturday's match, Jacob, I know the lineup came out. I think you were a little concerned in our chat. You're like, what is this lineup?
No, I wasn't concerned with like how it would look on the pitch. I think I was more concerned with like, man, okay, so Keller's out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have Zelalem. We don't have Jafal. We know Zico's out. There was no Turi for whatever reason. And so it was just super thin. I mean, I was happy to see Keller back in the lineup, but as Justin points out, maybe he should have never gone in because he did leave again injured.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was just kind of a, man, we are ravaged right now by injury. And then with Zico being out for international duty, it kind of compounded it. I wasn't sure about Wilkerson, but he ended up being, I thought Wilkerson was fantastic, honestly. And we can get into that later, but yeah, it was the initial problem that I had was looking at it. I was like, who the hell is going to play where? Mm-hmm. Because there were some names in there that we hadn't really seen. And so once I did that and kind of did the homework and was like, okay, well, I guess this guy's going here and this guy's going there. And so it made sense a little bit there. And then once we started playing, I was very happy with it.
Yeah, no, it looked good on the pitch. The guys were firing. They were looking good. They were I mean, this early shot here, forcing Shuttler into a save. Like, I don't know that necessarily would have gone in, but it was close. It was close. Very good shot from distance. But yeah, no, we looked so much better than we did the first two games. And even with the changes in the midfield, I feel like, yes, obviously we prefer, Gideon and Zico to be there, right? But we didn't really give up a lot in the midfield. If you look back at this one, our issues were really the two penalties, and that was it. We played well defensively. There are obviously some straight arm shoves going on early in the half, and ref probably could have been a little more harsh on some of them for what they were doing, Talon included. By the way, there were a few boos for Talon during warmups, and then like a few boos on the first touch of the match, and then that was it. I expected more. I know other individuals expected more.
So I think they look at it as we kicked him to the curb and not he kicked us to the curb. At least most fans, I'll say casual fans, even though I don't necessarily like that term, which is most of the people that go to the game, right? Yeah. There's 30, 40 people that watch / listen to the show. There's like 7,000 in New Mexico United Nation, but it's for the most part, the people that are at the matches are just casual guys. And so I'm assuming that they didn't quite realize the circumstances under which he left and that we maybe should have booed him. Like, it's easy to boo Amando or Santi when they choose to go sign with somebody else. This one was one of those ones where we transferred him. And so I think there's a lot of people that kind of blamed the club for that and not necessarily Talon for that. I talked to several people that were unaware of the circumstances under which he left.
Yeah, and again, most of our folks know, but in case you're listening to this and don't know, Talon requested the transfer. Talon wanted to leave. It's not that the club wanted to give him away. That was Talon's desire. He wanted out, for whatever reason, and I think it does lead some credence to what happened, what we heard about happening last year, in the locker room. Whatever happened. Talon wanted out, so the club, if a player wants out, the club will help facilitate it. That's the way it is. We saw it. We've seen it a couple times, not necessarily in this fashion, but we've had players that wanted out. The club helped make it happen. But yeah, so I expected more. And to be honest, Mike said Maples did not have a good game.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Right now, I want to ask Christina. Christina, you're the only one of us that actually sits in the stands, and I know that section that you're in. There's a lot of people that have season tickets and have been coming for a while, and you guys are kind of close knit. What was the vibe in your section when it came to Maples and him out there on the pitch for another team?
I think there was some saltiness. Similar to Santi or Mondo leaving, choosing to go to Colorado. But more than that, I think it was his behavior on the pitch.
Tonight, during the game itself?
Yeah, during the game itself was just rubbing people the wrong way. It comes to mind is the second PK, and just seeing him celebrating that PK. It was just kind of like leaving a sour taste in people's mouth. It was interesting. I was going down onto the pitch after the game, and I did observe him to stay back. He was the last Colorado player on the pitch. And
he was out there later than any New Mexico United player.
Yeah, I noticed that too. He was there signing. Well, he went through the tunnel and then he came back out. But as he was going through the tunnel, I mean, for the most part, people were giving him high fives and being really kind to him and telling him, good to see him. So he was at least face to face getting a positive reception from the fans. And then I also noticed him signing autographs for the kiddos well after the game.
Yeah, he was there. Talon was out on the pitch for about 2 hours afterwards. He was there for a very long time, signing autographs and talking to people. After the press conferences, we were walking around, we were talking to people. Talon's like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, "Fuck, I can't be mad now." I was like, "Damn it." He's like asking him, "How are the kids? How are you doing?" All that type of stuff. And, it's like, okay, I can't be too mad about that, about him as a person, right? Talon's a decent person, right? He's a good person. I don't like what happened, right? I don't like the way that it happened. But
oh no, was Mike said Maples had a bad game, and then a little while later, Bry Guy says he hasn't had a good season. That's an understatement. He has had a very bad season so far, and I got into it with there's a United fan on Facebook that commented on one of my comments and said something about Maples and then deleted it after I'd already typed out a response.
I saw that.
And I gave him a hard time about it, but there's a lot of people that are out there standing for Maples still, and he was best 11 worthy in 2024. He was good but not great last year, and this year he has been outright bad. And so
well, last year he ended the season getting voted MVP.
Yeah, and I think that goes to show a couple things. One, how weak we had a good club, but it's a good club. There's no standouts. And so there's a bunch of people that you could pick from. And I'm not gonna bash the guy too much, but what Justin says was he's got to uphold his image. Like his image is really good amongst the fans, and was last year, and so they're always gonna see him. And don't get me wrong, he played his ass off. Switching to right back there at the end of the year because we got Keller and Wright in healthy, and busting his ass to do that. So it wasn't an undeserved club MVP, but it was a club MVP. That doesn't mean he had a stellar season. Like I think his 2024 season was way better than last year by far. But yeah, I don't know. It's
I find myself wondering if, he had a lapse in judgment and professionalism with the way that he ultimately left the club. And not to say Weehan had a similar lapse in judgment or professionalism, but I think when Weehan left, it was, he wasn't happy to be leaving. It wasn't under his terms. But he talked about how it just took some reflection and some time for him to come to terms with that. And I'm wondering if maybe that's a little of something that Maples was having to work through and experience being back at the lab so quickly into the season.
That could be. And we get him several more times, right? We get him, I think, 3 more times, 1 more time here. And so it's going to be a year that he's going to learn a lot about himself this year. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it is.
We get that other way. Maples didn't have a good game. The reception was interesting, but let's get into why he didn't have a good game and talk about what happened here. So
Christian Nava and Chris Gloucester, holy crap!
Well, and Dayon.
They made a meal.
Yes, all 3 of them.
Those overlapping runs, the ball's in behind. Talon didn't know which way he was going.
Well, and Nava. So the first half obviously goes scoreless, right? We don't have any action. The first 10-15 minutes, like Josh said over in the chat, United really ran at him and kind of dominated, and then it kind of settled in, was pretty 50-50 after that. But yeah, I thought Nava looked fantastic. I thought he had a heck of a game out there. His pressing in that first half especially was really good. There was a moment where Talon had the ball and
that's a dive. That is not a penalty. Watch
look. I have the video that I posted, Seth. It's a penalty. I'm sorry.
No way.
It is.
Watch this. Will steps in. Will's planted, and he drags his foot. That's not a penalty.
It is.
He delivered. No, that is not. He plays the ball away and then brings himself to. No.
He's going down before contact, but there's still contact. He gets pushed in the back. It's a penalty.
No, it is not. He's already going down. No, that's not a penalty.
Doesn't matter.
Watching on
he definitely sold it. I mean, whether Seymour caught him a little bit or a lot, he sold it.
Yeah. No,
I think we can agree on that.
That's not a penalty. Obviously Colorado's going to yell that it is, but no, Will doesn't play into him. He pulls up and catches Will's leg. That's what that is. He's already going to ground when he does it. There's no way. Will didn't touch the ball. The Colorado player.
Will takes a terrible angle. Now, I want to preface this by saying this is not Will's fault. This is a shank job by Gloucester.
Yeah.
That puts Will Seymour in this position. But Seymour takes a terrible, terrible angle. He doesn't go for the ball. To me, he gets the guy. The guy is definitely selling it. It's starting to go down before there's contact, but there is contact. To me, it's a clear penalty, but it's a soft penalty, and it's a play that Seymour, especially with his experience, shouldn't have put the ref in the position where he could even call it.
Oh no, Harry, no. I'm watching that as a referee. Like that's not a penalty. Player's already going to ground. The player initiates the contact. It's not a penalty for me. But
even New Mexico United Nation, disagrees with you, Seth, because I posted my angle of that penalty because I got it on camera, and I posted in Mexico United Nation, and even there's like 2, no, he flopped, and then another 20 are, yeah, it's a pin all day.
No, they're wrong.
Did you see the video that I took?
No, I haven't been on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook. Facebook is terrible.
The angle that I have, it tells a different story.
I think Jacob texted it to us, Seth.
I did.
Did you?
But that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to move on to this sequence here. I mean, this here, you get 2 passes. Oh. This is 10 seconds of play. Not even. That's 8 seconds, end to end.
That first touch was just beautiful.
Goodness.
Was it Hursty?
Yeah, Hursty with the assist. Off to Dayon on the left. Like, the vision to pick out Dayon through there. Like, oh my word. 8 seconds, end to end.
Maybe I'm picking on him too much, but if Maples doesn't look to go see if that's offside and just fucking plays,
yeah,
he gets in the way of that cutback, and that never happens.
No, he looks, you can see, and, you know, that kills, starts to kill your momentum.
Then he turns his head back around and he's like, oh, the ball's right there, and he can't get to it because he's a step slow. If he just runs and actually tries to stop the damn ball, then I don't think we're talking about that being a goal.
God, the placement on this pass too, and I'm convinced this takes a touch off somebody, either Oos or the defender.
I think it was off Maples.
No, so Dayon's pass in is clean, but Val's shot.
No, they credit it to Niall. It is Niall's goal.
Oh.
The club put that out today, and then I looked at ESPN today, and that is a Niall Reed-Steven, his first official goal.
Because I asked,
I thought that from the moment it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've accredited it to Niall Reed-Steven finally.
Okay, good. Yeah, I saw it, and I turned to Carlos. By the way, Carlos here from the chat. Congrats, buddy. I know we talked on Saturday, but yeah, I saw the deflection there. I was like, "Are you sure? Are we sure? Is Opta sure that that's that's Val's goal?" That's what they kept that as. They kept that as Val's goal for a couple of days.
Well, I think everybody thought it went off of Maples.
Yeah, I thought it went off Maples too.
Which, if it goes off of Maples, it's still Val's goal.
Yeah.
Because his shot was on frame. It just takes a nasty deflection, but it still counts as Noel's goal. But no, it definitely deflected off of somebody, and that somebody was Niall.
Yeah, it looked like it clearly from my angle, and just with how Niall brought his foot up, it looked like it came off of him. But I mean, and I'll go back to it, but just a great run of play again. Like you see, where is it? I gotta go back and forth. But yeah, here again, long ball off to the right. We pick it up in the attacking third. Dayon was phenomenal in this match.
Yeah. 2 things that I want to point out there. 3 things. Sorry. 1, we win a second ball, which we struggled at times in the second half to win those second balls. But Hurst was in the right place, right time, and there was nobody else around him. So he wins that second ball. He's able to put Harris in. Harris and Niall Reed had switched sides. They ran that way for about 10 minutes, which was an interesting little wrinkle. And then Niall and Renix, their run to that near post to draw that whole entire Colorado Springs back line towards goal and open up that space for Noel to, get the shot off, but ultimately it goes to Niall. But that run is fantastic. And so
Dayon's placement on that pass, oh my God. It's very easy to play that ball into where the players are running, but to see the space in behind, like, phenomenal.
That's one thing that I've noticed. So in my 7 or 8 years of watching soccer, like, religiously, that cutback into the space created by the backline retreating has always been successful. If you place it right, it's always successful, and it's something that I thought United never really did. And they've done it. I think we've scored 2 goals already off of it this year, and I think that is a huge kind of addition that we've added, and I couldn't be more excited about that.
Yeah. Quick question: were any of the trailheads there?
I did not see anybody.
Yeah, I got asked the question.
I also didn't look.
I didn't see any Colorado supporters. Now maybe there were a couple I didn't see, and they usually travel pretty well. But I didn't see anybody supporting Colorado on Saturday. But yeah, like you go back to this goal, and I was talking to someone about the way Corey Bennett was taking these penalties, because the way he did it on both of them, he stood over the ball, feinted like he was going to shoot, and then stepped back to take his penalty. Like, people are like, well, how is that legal? Well, technically he hasn't started his run up, right? So, but it's very odd to have him stand over the ball, feint, and then back up.
That feint doesn't matter. Even if he kicks it, then it's not the ref hasn't blown the whistle for either of those times. The ref hasn't blown the whistle to put it in play.
Yeah.
So that was just him being a douche. He's a very good villain, by the way. He's probably the best villain we've had in a while. Scoring on us again when Vegas was there, or when he was with Vegas, and then I think he scored last year for Sacramento, if I'm not mistaken, and then now twice in this game. Super good villain.
Yeah, and then obviously the match comes down to a head here, and then just like this touch. Now I could have sworn that Dejan was offside on this. And looking at it, I could have sworn he was off. Even watching it live.
Christina, do you remember watching live? Because where you sit is pretty close to the line right there. Did you immediately think, "Oh shit," or
no, not at all? But also, I was just like in the moment, freaking out. So,
he looks off right there.
He does.
Honestly,
unless Towns keeping him on,
Towns could be keeping him on.
Unless Towns keeping him on, but he looked
blade
off.
Of grass.
If anybody's keeping him on, it's Talon. Those lines don't really help because they're
about to get the ball
the diagonal lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So that Noel's about to pass it to him right now. And so I think he's off, but honestly, I haven't seen. Usually when a play like that happens, that's borderline or like looks pretty obvious. Like in this case, usually there's fans from the other team complaining about it on social media everywhere, and I haven't really seen any of that. So I don't know.
But yeah, fun goal, really good vision there.
The back line definitely thought he was off.
Oh yeah, no,
because again, Naples goes.
Them. Yeah.
The photo of Oos running to Gloucester and Maples and the other defender in the background, like on their knees, like, why, God, why? Best photo of the season. I'm going to call it.
So, but yeah, United finally picks up first win of the season, 3-2 at the death over Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Final takeaway, man of the match.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I already said it. I already said mine's Dejan. Dejan was phenomenal in this match. Dejan created. He was involved in all 3 goals.
So he technically won't get an assist anymore on the
Noel
goal.
That is true.
But he gets the hockey assist. It is his ball that starts it. So he's still involved. Just on paper, it won't go down as an assist anymore. But still, yeah, he came on and really changed some stuff there for sure.
Yep, that he did. He was phenomenal. I mean, this was, pillar to post, the best match we played all season. And again, I know it's early.
I think Oakland was still better than this, honestly.
You think?
I do. I think we were a little more creative. We just didn't finish against Oakland. But it's close. I think those 2 matches are neck and neck, and then San Antonio is way down here, obviously.
Yep.
Christina, who do you got?
Oh, I got to go with Oos. I mean, he stayed composed under that crazy pressure and just finished it. I feel like
who's known for skying.
We have a couple of guys who would have really.
Well, speaking of that, do you guys remember Niles' shot?
Yeah, that was. Half? Did it stay in the stadium? I don't know. It might have even left the stadium.
Like, I've never seen a shot attempt go out for a throw-in. Like that is beyond missing it.
Yeah.
And so
but it looked like his boot got caught in the turf.
Yeah, it was right at the transition from the sod to the outfield grass. And and it just went and went out for like that was wild. I mean, I think those all make perfect sense. If I wasn't going last, those would probably be my guys as well. But since you guys went that route, I'm going to shout out Cam, man. Cam Wilkerson comes in, signs a 25 day, or is he on a full? I can't remember.
Cam's academy, right?
No,
he's not.
He's just a young player that came in. Comes in. You know, the first time we see him, he was playing right back. I think that was against Cruisers. No, that's Gilchrist. I think it was against Oakland, maybe. Didn't impress me whatsoever, but that's not his natural position.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then we've seen him a couple matches now in that central midfield with the dearth of talent or dearth of options that we have there, and he comes in and is calm and cool and composed. He doesn't lead to any goals or anything like that, but defensively he holds his own. 25 day. Thank you. Yeah. I figured it was. Okay, and it was Cruisers. So oh yeah, because Gilchrist was on the left. That's right. And then Cam was on the right against Cruisers. And so, you know, he had a little bit of a rough start in that match, but you know, comes in playing midfield and has looked really good, in my opinion, especially with the injury that we have. And I think this match, if you have a defensive midfielder and you don't notice them, that's a great game for that defensive midfielder most of the time. And that was exactly what happened here. I was watching him. I rewatched this match this morning and I focused on Nava and him. And then when Harris came in, I focused on Harris. And he was just calm and smooth and didn't make any mistakes, didn't play a ball wrong. Playing out of the back for the most part wasn't an issue. Even the Gloucester mishap that led to that first PK, that wasn't necessarily a playing out of the back issue. That was, we gained control and got played out to Gloucester, and Gloucester was trying to clear it and just scuffed it. And so, but yeah, I think I'll give a little bit of a shout out to Cam because nobody's really going to notice him because he didn't do anything flashy, but he was solid, just what we needed in that midfield, especially with the people that are out, and I loved it. And so, yeah. Talked about Kip. Harry brought it up. Justin brought it up earlier. Yeah, that wasn't the best thing to see. So Kip comes on about the 60th minute mark, about the 67th minute mark. You see him. It's his one shot attempt. And right immediately after that, he pulls up a little bit, but he stays in the match, runs fine, looks healthy for the most part. And then right around the 87th, 88th minute, he goes to play a long diagonal and comes up lame again. And this time gets pulled. Like Andrew said, his hamstring issues aren't going away. He's had hammy issues. He had a hammy issue when we brought him in. Me and Christina were talking about it in the dugout after the match while we were waiting for the presser. Like he's had those kind of muscle injuries since we brought him on. That's why he missed time for Minnesota before he came to us last year, was he was out with a hammy. And so it kind of is the status quo with him, but he's a freaking dog and will fight through it most of the time. And so you're right. He probably shouldn't have come in, but if he said he was feeling good enough to play, then what are they going to do? Yeah. Like, our back line is thin as hell right now anyways. Why not put him out there?
I don't have a problem with him coming in. I mean, I'd rather him come with him still, recovering. Like, obviously 30 minutes is, you don't want to play. I would rather him come in as a sub than start, right? Let him get that match fitness back. He certainly was, after the match, was walking around, with this, on the right leg that was giving him problems. Same issue, same leg he had wrapped at the end of last season.
He had it iced, and he did have the ice up pretty high, so groin is a possibility.
Could be,
like Josh says. It's definitely, I think, a muscle injury somewhere up there. I don't think we see him. I know we don't see him tomorrow night.
No.
And I don't think we see him Saturday night either. No. I think he takes at least those 2 matches off, if not. Well, actually, because if he takes those 2 matches off, I guess we play on the 11th, but then we would have a week off. So wouldn't be surprised if you see these next 3 matches he's out, and that actually buys him 2 more weeks before our next match. And so yeah, I don't think we see him for. I don't think it's that long, Justin. But I do think it's 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, it's just going to depend on the extent of the injury and whether it's a groin or hamstring. You know, for all we know, maybe it's something having to do with the hernia surgery he had. So, I mean, we don't know, right? And we're not anticipating the club telling us, you know, a clear cut. You know, yes, it is, you know, A or B, right? Josh over in chat, Independence pull off the cup set against Battery. Okay, cup set there. Union Omaha beat Indy 11.
Beat Indy, yep.
Also beat Indy. So you got 2 cup sets right there. Sac Republic only team currently playing up 3-0 over Valley 559 FC. So a couple cup sets tonight.
What is the name of this cup again?
The U.S. Open Cup.
Lamar Hunt.
Oh,
Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
Wait, what's the other one called?
The Jägermeister.
It used to be Jägermeister, but it's not anymore, right?
What is it? Prinks tires.
Yep.
So it's tomorrow Open Cup?
Yeah, tomorrow's Open.
Tomorrow's Open Cup, yeah.
Okay.
The Prinks Tire one, we will play. Our first match in that is our next home game on the 25th of April against AV Alta.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that brings us in. It's an update on the other scores from around Open Cup tonight. You've got, like I said, Sacramento Republic currently up 3-0 on Valley. 1 Knoxville advance over Asheville City on penalties. FC Naples defeats FC America 3-0. Union Omaha defeats Indy 11-1. Riverhounds over Virginia Dream FC 2-0. And obviously, as I mentioned, Charlotte Independence over Battery 3-2. That brings us into Wednesday night. Obviously, the match that we're going to be focused on is New Mexico United hosting El Paso Locomotive over at UNM Soccer Complex. Around the league, you got Chattanooga FC hosting Tennessee Tempo. Richmond Kickers hosting Loudoun United. Lexington hosting Louisville City. Rhode Island hosting Hartford. Vermont Green hosting Westchester. Flint City Bucks hosting Detroit City. Colorado Springs hosting Spokane Velocity. San Antonio hosts FC Tulsa. That one, a lot of these are on Paramount Plus apparently. So tomorrow night's match is on Paramount Plus, by the way. Orange County hosting Phoenix Rising FC as well. So yeah, a lot of games on the slate tomorrow. But yeah, we get El Paso. It is the rivalry once again because U.S. Soccer and the Open Cup Committee have no sense of originality, no sense of creativity, and decide that everyone is going to be locked into a region no matter how many times you play them in a single season. In league play so far, El Paso is 2-1-0 with wins over Sac Republic and Monterey Bay. They drew against Colorado Springs in their opener. What are we looking for tomorrow night? Do we think that El Paso comes in and ends our Open Cup run once again, or does United avenge that?
Oof. I don't know. I feel like we've got a lot of players injured. And we struggled in the last Open Cup match more than I think we should have. So it gives me pause for tomorrow night for sure.
It's going to come down to how bad El Paso wants it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are going to have heavy squad rotation because of the injuries and with Zico being out and everything like that. And so you're going to see some academy kids playing. You're going to see, some secondary attackers out there, which our attack is good enough that that's pretty much going to be a first team, even if it is guys that haven't started for us yet. But it's going to be, if they come out and they want it and they put out a near A-team lineup, I know I say I never predict against United, but it'll be hard for me to predict an outcome for us. The deck is kind of stacked against us in this particular match, and I hate to say it, El Paso is playing some pretty good soccer right now. I watched their Sacramento match this weekend, and I'm high on Sacramento, and they kind of did whatever they wanted in Sacramento, and so it's weird. It's weird for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be the big thing, our injuries. And I was talking to someone at the club after the match on Saturday, and they're saying that we've got a lot of injuries right now. Like, this is a lot, but what we've had so far is, as one guy goes out, another guy's been coming back. So we've been fortunate in that aspect that we're not necessarily just piling up the injury list. But it is unfortunate. You've got some of our key pieces out, right? We just talked about Kip Keller, not anticipating Kip Keller to be playing, not anticipating Zelalem to be playing, not anticipating Jafal, and Zico. Obviously, Zico is still gone, right? So you got some big pieces missing. But when you look at it, again, home field. I know it's UNM Soccer Complex. I really hope we see a bigger crowd than the first round. I think we will, because the clubs have more time to promote it. But like you said, Jacob, El Paso's playing well right now. I know we give them a lot of crap every time because they are a rival, but it's you can't fault the way that they're playing right now. It's hard to look past where we're at with our current roster, with the anticipated rotation, and just how El Paso is playing. I mean, I don't expect El Paso to come in. You may see some rotation from Saturday, but I don't think you see a lot, which I think is going to be a huge factor in this match tomorrow.
Either of you guys going tomorrow night?
No, I won't be there. My kid's got a birthday party he's going to. So with it being spring break, can't be both places at once.
To Harry's questions about the odds that NMU would host in round 3 when MLS comes in, 0.
0. Yeah,
we will not be hosting that game. And the only way it would happen is if Thursday the Isotopes have a home game, but it's during the day. We would have to host at UNM, and I just don't see us hosting an MLS team at UNM. I don't think it makes sense for the tickets. Just there's not enough space there, and so I would say 0 for that. I don't know. I know that this club puts a lot of emphasis on the Open Cup, and I'm not saying we're not going to go out and try. I just don't know if we have the horses to run with a full El Paso team right now.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't disagree with that. And to the point about hosting, I would not expect an MLS team to be brought to UNM Soccer Complex. I also would not even farther on the chart is Rio Rancho, right? There's no way. And yes, like you said, my Isotopes do play a matinee game on that Thursday, but that's the only opportunity. But even then, you'd be playing at UNM. You can't do a field conversion in an afternoon. No. It's just not happening. So,
and they play at home the next night, so it's not like you're converting it for a stretch. It would be like convert and then convert right back. They're never going to do that. Yep. So not going to happen. To Justin's
Harry, the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
It would be New Mexico. He's a robot, but he's not that big of a robot. To Justin's comment right below that, I would agree that the Open Cup is far more important if we were healthy and hadn't lost 2 games already in the league. I think it just doesn't line up for us to make a run right now in the Open Cup with the injuries and thinness that we have on that back line. And we are already lost 2 matches, albeit tough ones on the road in the league. And so I think that mindset could shift ever so slightly towards the league play, just because I don't see us if El Paso takes it seriously, I don't see us being able to keep up with them. If they come out and say, "Oh, well, these guys are injured and they're wounded, we're not gonna fight," then there we go. But I don't know.
That's a problem for El Paso if that's their mindset.
Well, yeah, but I mean, would you be surprised? Because I wouldn't.
I mean, no, but honestly, like I'd be okay going out of the Open Cup. Like, yes, I want silver, right? I want silverware. I want it so bad. But like, again, with the state that we're in, one less thing off the schedule, get some guys healthy. I would just hate for it to be against El Paso again, right? That's the big thing.
I think Harry's just in the chat. He's not listening because you twice said Sacramento was up 3-0.
I think he was here then.
No, he was. He's been here for a minute. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, no, tomorrow's going to be tough. It really is. I don't think if El Paso comes out with anything other than a winning mindset, then yeah, I think it's our match. I do think there's a chance. I think there's a chance we may not see as much rotation from Saturday. Now, obviously, you're not going to see Keller, right? You're not going to see, some of the others. I mean, you may throw this into, Hursty didn't start on Saturday.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Archibald and Hurst both started.
Did he? He was on the bench.
No, he started.
What? Okay, maybe I was looking at the graphic that was at the beginning of the thing, but then again, USL typos. Like, good grief. Yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. I'm so tired at this point.
It's not a maybe. He did.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm so tired at this point. But Renix could get a go. LaCava could get minutes. You've got guys that could get starts. LaCava and Renix have looked good. Why not give them a shot here? But I mean, maybe there's not as much rotation as we think. But
I think we see rotation. I really do. I think I don't know how you can go into this match and not rotate at least some of these guys with everything that we have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there might not be rotation in the back line because there's nobody to put back there, right? I think it was Mike over in the chat earlier said, LaCava played right back for us on Saturday. So I don't know. I wouldn't. The only thing I will say is that even a rotated squad, if it's not academy players that are being rotated in, like if you just took all of our healthy. Why would he be out? Did he get a red card? No, Cam got a red card is what I read. So I don't know if Cam can play.
Cam got the red.
Yeah. And so, you're going to have to put some bodies in the midfield, and I don't know who that's going to be. It could be a very creative midfield of like Noel, Vargas, and Hurst or Renix. And then Renix, Archibald, or Hurst up top. But that back line, I'd like to see Howell get a start. Hopefully he's healthy enough to get a start. And you have Howell and Seymour back there. And then Gloucester and Jabang, I think pretty much have to play. And so
yeah.
I don't know. I that could be why he played Saturday, Andrew, but I also think he played Saturday because we don't have a midfield. And so we don't have that like line controlling midfielder, like I said, Vargas and Noel, but they're more attacking mindset. Jabang has to play outright unless you put LaCava back there. I wouldn't mind seeing a back line of Gloucester, Howell, Seymour, LaCava, and then a midfield of Jabang and Noel. And then that kind of dual 9 up top, Hurst / Renix, and then Archibald up top or whatever. It'll be interesting. I can guarantee you at 6:30, I will be glued to my phone. 6:25, I'll be glued to my phone to see what that lineup looks like. Yeah. And yes, Harry, there are academy kids that can be called up. We might see Hoffman get a start there at center back.
I'd like to see that.
Gilchrist, Grady Gilchrist started for us in the last Open Cup match at right back or left back, which isn't a position I'd like to see him. I would not like to see Grady at left back against a USL opponent because he didn't look fantastic there. Again, he looked good attacking, but that was because it was a team that we should have the ball against. El Paso isn't necessarily that, so I don't know. It's going to be tough. I'll predict a win for us in penalties, which is like predicting a draw, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. So yes, 1017 is carrying the game tomorrow. They will not carry the Orange County game. So the next
Josh's point, I don't think we see a Rosario. I think it's Shakes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, so 1017 will carry Open Cup. Next away match will be Phoenix. We are not carrying the Orange County game. So so keep that in mind, but there will be radio coverage tomorrow night. But yeah, all right. So you want to give a score prediction for tomorrow?
1-1, and then we win 5-3 on penalties.
5-3 on penalties. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it would take something special for us to do this in regular time, or in regular time. Yeah, 1-1 Pens, maybe like a 5-4 advance, but yeah, I don't see it being goalless. At this point, I don't see us holding El Paso goalless. Again, there's just too much going on with the back line. So, I just, I'd like to see it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, a clean sheet's ideal. You want to, would love to see just a straight win and not go to pens, get the guys out of there early tomorrow night and be ready for Saturday. But yeah, that's all you can hope for because, again, you go out to Orange County, a place that, has always been tough to play. Orange County's a team that always puts out a pretty quality squad, but I mean, when you've got 3 team of the week members going into your lineup, Dayon Harris, Valentin Noel, and Usman Jabang all getting nods for team of the week, like you have to feel pretty good no matter what match that they play in. But I mean, looking ahead to Saturday, that's a late match out at Championship Soccer Stadium. What are your thoughts on Orange County so far this year?
They're another one that's looked good. It's been kind of a weird year. We've kind of talked about that. But they're in second place currently. They've got 2 wins and 2 draws. And have looked solid in those matches. Let me pull up what they had there because I had it up earlier.
Drew against Vegas, drew against Phoenix.
But then they've won their last 3, and if you include Open Cup. Now they're not scoring a lot of goals. 1-0 against Colorado Springs. That one they won pretty much at the death off of a misplayed Talon Maples header. And then just this last weekend they beat Oakland by 1 in Oakland. And so, they're not lighting the world on fire by any means, but they never do, right? They're just scrappy almost all the time. They have a lot of young pieces. I want to say, I could be wrong, but they start a very young group. And I'm going to behind the scenes here a little bit. So I Google USL Championship standings, and then I just go off of what Google has up there because they have a nice little thing here for me. And then they have all their matches, they have the standings and stuff like that. And you can click on the matches. And it used to give me all the kind of info for the match, like lineups and stuff like that. And it doesn't do that anymore.
Nope.
It pisses me off. So I'll have to look into that. But they've got several teenagers that are very good for them. And so they're still kind of coming into their groove. I'm not sure. I think we have a good chance. I think we have a good chance against everybody, but going on the road, short week, depending on what we see tomorrow night, could be tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's Orange County's always been a tough beat. They played solid defensive football. They're not flashy. Ever since Damas left a couple of years ago, they haven't really had, in my opinion, a true standout goal scorer. So they're not gonna light up the scoreboard. They're not gonna have some guy that is gonna be all. They haven't had some guy that's been all league, at that position. But they're a quality side. Year in and year out. They're not great. They're not bad. They've always been kind of middle of the pack, over the past several years. People start to count them out every year, but then they're like, oh no, we're still here. We're still kicking. We're good enough to be in the conversation. Right. So but going on the road, who's healthy, who's not, who's going to play in this one, a lot of questions for United. I would like to think that Zico is back by that point, which I think would be a boost to the club if he is. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough fight, and you're going to have to find ways to be creative because they're going to be physical. They're going to defend their home pitch just like they do every single time they go out there.
Yeah, for sure. And so I don't know. And it's early, right? Even if we go there and lose, it's not going to be the end of the world. I think we started off last season way better than we have so far this season, obviously, and there were still people calling for Sanchez's head. Mm-hmm. But I would like to think that maybe they decided to relax a little bit after, the finish that we had to last season. But I think we need a result there. I think a draw is necessary, in my opinion, at the very least. And so, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough, but I'm excited for it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm very excited for it, and think that we will have a chance. I think we come out on top. Mm-hmm. But man, that back line has me worried. And I know that. We'll get healthy. We'll get a signing or two back there, and we'll be in better shape. I'm very curious to see, we bring in, Tyler Blackett, Blackett that played the preseason matches for us, and then has seemingly disappeared. I've heard he's still in town from other fans that have seen him around, but that's a guy that if we were able to get him signed before Saturday, would be huge for us. But I don't know. It just kind of, I have no idea what's going on there. But we need somebody like that, like right now, because we need bodies back there, especially. And I thought Turi was going to get some more look. I haven't heard anything official. I haven't heard anything off the record. Honestly, I haven't heard anything about it.
I'm concerned he picked up a serious knock, but
he either picked up a knock or he wasn't performing. And it was a 25-day contract, so we should still be on
his last appearance. He looked good. So I don't know. I thought Terry looked good when we saw him out there. So
I think he looked fine. I'm assuming that 25-day contract is still going. So it has to be a couple days left. Yeah, it has to be an injury that has kept him out, which just add that to our list of stuff. Andrew said Tyler played in an academy friendly versus Rapids U19 2 weekends ago. So he's still around. Something going on there, hopefully. I don't care who it is. We just need some bodies. We need some bodies like yesterday. And now maybe with Keller, possibly missing some more time, it'll speed something up, at least for a 25-day contract for somebody. And yes, Mike, you're right. Jalen is still out there as well. So I don't know.
I don't think we go that route.
I don't think so either, but it's a body that knows the system that could possibly be interested in a little 25-day contract or something, but we need help. We need help for sure there. And unless we get some help between now and Saturday, I'm leery of it being a clean sheet for sure. Colorado Springs has only scored, or not Colorado Springs, Orange County has only scored 1 goal in all of their matches. And so maybe they get to 2 and get their first multi-goal game of the season, but that doesn't mean we can't do like we did Saturday and score 3 on top of them. So, Christina, do you have thoughts?
I'm wondering if we're approaching our max contracts that we can have.
Yeah, I don't know how the 25-day contracts factor into that, but I know there are some teams that have 27, 28 players. And so I don't think that would be an issue, but
no, the 25-day contracts would fall off, even if they did have, even if they did take a roster spot. But
well, I was already predicting that we would have a rough start to the season, just based off of how they seem to be performing in preseason, not even taking into consideration all these injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So any kind of point is a win in my book as far as kicking off the season goes. And at least we're not the last the team in the league to finally get a point on the board. Thanks to Harry for pointing that out to us.
Yeah. Yeah, not the last team to get points. But yeah, it's going to be tough. Like we knew, especially seeing how things came out. They said came out in the offseason, in the preseason. Injuries, not great performances against USL Championship or higher level clubs. But and then one of the individuals I was talking to said, "Hey, don't sleep on this team. This is the best roster we've ever had. Give us 3 or 4 more weeks. Once guys get back, get healthy, this is going to be a completely different looking team in 3 to 4 weeks." Which, I mean, I see it. I see
how
flashes.
How many weeks ago was that, Seth?
This was Saturday.
Oh, okay.
This was Saturday. It's just, obviously the injuries are a big factor in it, because it's unfortunate, right? But give us a few more weeks, let the guys get healthy, get back in there, get more acclimated to each other, and this is going to be a dangerous lineup. And we've already seen it. We've seen what Dayon's doing. We've seen what LaCava and Renix can do. We've seen Archimed be kind of a pest up top. We've seen Hursty get involved. We've seen plays across the back. So I think there's room for optimism here. But that's always going to ebb and flow with how things happen, and that's exactly what what they said. Season ebbs and flows. So, all right, Christina, any predictions for Saturday?
Oh boy, I'm gonna go 1-1 draw. What did you guys predict?
We didn't predict Saturday. We did predict Wednesday. Do you want to give us a prediction for Open Cup as well?
I don't.
No. Fair enough. Jacob, Saturday?
I'll go 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw?
Yeah, I think multi-goals are probably going to be coming for most of our opponents for a little while still, and yeah, but I think we can score against them for sure, and so I think we see some fireworks. Hopefully we don't come out on the losing side. I'd be okay with a draw. Hoping for a win, but I'd be okay with a draw.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say 2-1 us on the road. I think we've got the ability, right? And I like what I see from Shakes and goal. I like what I'm seeing from individual players and the effort that's been there in these first few matches. And again, I think you string some of it together. You get Zico back. You get you get a couple more guys back from injury. You're going to start to see some real changes in this lineup, and it's going to be real hard for Dennis Sanchez to keep guys out as the season goes on. And I think Orange County has a chance to make a road statement after the opening 2 weeks that we had.
Yeah, I think Orange County is probably right on there with Oakland, right on par with Oakland as far as a club, and so if we can go out and perform against them how we performed against Oakland, then I think we have a chance to come out there with 3 points pretty easily. But When I look at this back line, especially if Howell isn't quite 90 minutes ready, I get a little concerned, especially makes that in with the midfield missing some people. I think by the time Saturday rolls around, Zico should be here. But I don't know. It's kind of one of those. A lot of what I think how Saturday will go is going to be dependent on how tomorrow night goes and what our lineup looks like and stuff like that.
Yep, I wouldn't disagree with that. So it'll be exciting to see what happens throughout the week as we take on El Paso Locomotive tomorrow night over at the UNM Soccer Complex. If you don't have your tickets, go get your tickets and get out there and support the club. And then on Saturday, a road match to Orange County. Again, no radio coverage on Saturday. Maybe we try to set something up. I know we'll talk about it. As far as like a watch along, I don't know yet. This weekend's not great for me, but we can talk about it. Maybe figure something out. I'll have to talk to Melanie and see where we are at, because we actually won't have the kids Saturday night. So yeah, maybe we do a date night or something, but we'll figure all that out. I think it'd be a good thing. So but yeah, I think that's gonna just about do it. Jacob, what do you say you get us out of here?
Sweet. Yeah, just for the record, the Philippines played somebody today, and it finished 1-1. I cannot find reliable information on if Zico played. He did not start. I know he didn't start. I don't know if he came in as a sub or not. So not sure what there. If he got minutes, it was probably 30, 40 minutes, which means he should be able to be available Saturday if he gets back in time. So with that being said, Brennan, Mike, thank you guys. They are related, by the way. Andrew, of course, Bry Guy, Eric was over here, Austin, Josh, and Justin, the regulars, Rosemary. Who else was over there? I know I'm missing Joshua was over there earlier. Joshua Carrillo. Yeah, thank all of you guys. Christina was in the chat for a minute. Thank all you guys for taking an hour and a half out of your Tuesday nights to come and sit with us and listen to us blabber on about Mexico United and other things. Thank you guys so much for that. If you're listening at a later date on the podcast player of your choice, please rate and review us on that. If you aren't subscribed to our YouTube, if you don't like or follow us on Facebook or Instagram, please go and do such things, as well as X and Blue Sky. Please go do that. It helps us get the word out about us a little bit more. As I mentioned last week, this year we're going to try to promote us a little bit more, just so we get a little bit more, get the word out a little bit more about us. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. We'll have 2 matches to discuss next week. You might catch us Saturday for a watch along or something like that. We will put that out on our socials when we figure that out. And until then, y'all, love y'all. Somos Ninos.